Alright, so we just got done with the dyno, and after the dynos, certain things that I like to do whenever we get done, you know, retorque the heads. We made a lot of boost. 70 pounds is just a number, but it's a big number. So we retorque the heads, we run through all the valves. I pull all the drivetrain off, all the valve train off of it, and I check push rods. I'm gonna check the spring pressures. We always rerun the valves, even though we haven't had any kind of issues like that, but this is part of just the normal maintenance that we do. So every time I take the car out and we make, you know, 50 plus pounds of boost, this is just something that we do. So it definitely prolongs everything, and whenever we retorque the heads after we make that much boost, you know, that's what the boost is trying to do. It's trying to lift the heads off. So we retorque them, and most of the time they're fairly close, but there's always going to be a couple that get retorqued. So I'm guessing that all of them are going to be fairly tight. Last time I ran the valve, we had it on the dyno at FuelTech. So I normally do this when they're dead cold. So right now I did it when the motor was a little bit warm, so they're going to be a little bit tight. So basically with this is a spring compressor, spring checker. So you get them at top dead center, and then this right here hooks on this, you pull it, and basically, it doesn't really matter what it says. It's kind of like the leak down. We're just looking for consistency. So I don't really care, you know, if it says 500, I don't care if it says 700, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as they're all real close to the same. So that one right there opens the valve at about 495.
So put oil in it, and then we fire it up, and
Yeah, I mean, everything should be good. We didn't do anything but, you know, the little bit of maintenance that we did to it. So put oil in it, make sure we don't got any leaks, and then at some point we got to figure out what we're doing next. We're kind of in a standstill right now. We don't know if we are racing NPK or if we're racing streets next. So that'll let us know. If we're racing NPK, we're good to go the way it is right now. If we're racing the streets, we're gonna have to set the car up, we're gonna have to change the converter, we're gonna have to put the 88s on it instead of the 98s, and you know, change the chassis up just a little bit. So. Either way, we need a test.
yeah.
But there's not a whole lot going on right now with all the COVID stuff. We can't really go test. We could go test for the streets if that's what we're going to do. But right now we're set up for NPK. So, and I mean, yeah, it sucks. We do have the time. It just sucks swapping things over, especially if we don't need to. The way that we've noticed that things work is if I swap everything over to the street setup, then we're going to get the call in a couple of days that we're gonna go do MPK.
We've done that a couple times this year already.
We've already swapped this car over, what, 3 times this year, and haven't raced it once. We've tested, but haven't raced it.
We went to the track and tested for the streets on real low boost and went, what, 430s?
Well, we tried to run somewhere around 5.0 just to try to get a baseline tune-up so that we could take it to a shitty asphalt street. And we didn't slow it down any faster than 440. I think 440 was the slowest we went, which is shit. That it's not going to work.
Not on the roads we were testing for anyway.
No. That's leaving on 6 pounds of boost and bringing it into 21 pounds of boost. We still went 440s. So I'm not upset because I know how fast the car's going to be. But whenever you're trying to go slow, that's not a good sign.
No. And then we took it to the street thinking, oh, maybe it'll work.
Maybe it'll go.
And
No,
it
it didn't go
anywhere. But it's on a good street.
Yeah. We're still kind of new to the whole swapping back and forth deal, and we didn't really have our shit together on the street last year. So swapping back and forth, it ain't gonna be any easier this year. So
Last year was rough.
last year was pretty rough. We need to we got to get our shit together, but I feel like we learn more about the car every time we take it out, on what it wants, what it likes, what it does. So I think we're going to be all right this year.
What do you think of the new VP motor oil so far?
I mean, all we really did was break the motor in with it, but everything looked amazing after the dyno. So we pulled the filter, everything looked good, and with as hard as what we were on this deal, you know,
So far, so good.
so far so good. Had good oil pressure. Even when the motor got warm after it passed, the pressure was still good. So I think we'll be all right. I mean, the real test is going to be running it back to back to back, you know, and not a lot of time to cool it off in between rounds. We'll see if the oil pressure stays steady. But from what I've seen so far, you know, we have our certain little tests that we do.
Yeah.
And
As dumb as they may seem.
As dumb as our tests may seem, we have certain little tests that we like to do to this oil when we first get it to figure out. I mean, we've had some oils before that we won't even put in the motor because it doesn't pass our tests. We're not chemists by any means, for oil anyways.
No.
But we have certain things that we like to do and try, and if it doesn't pass our little tests, we won't even try it. So,
VP passed the initial and...
Yes. So we definitely don't want an oil that is going to, most of it end up in the catch can after a pass. And that's what happens whenever you have, I'll just set this like this. When you have an oil that thins out too fast when the motor gets warm, it puts it all in the catch can, and we don't want that. So I'm trying to think, what else? Where are we at here?
I think we should be good to fire. We didn't drain the transmission fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it on.
You turned it off.
I turned it off for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
It was already on.
Yeah, I had it on.
Because you was spinning the motor over earlier.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
We literally haven't started it since the last pull on the dyno, right?
Yep. We rolled it in the trailer and rolled it back out.
Okay. Okay.
Seems fine.
I think it's good. I mean, initially I don't see anything stupid, you know?
Now we just find somewhere to get you to let go of the button this week.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to change the turbos over, and I don't know. We may end up. I mean, we got nothing but time right now, so we may swap it over and go find a street and do a little testing this weekend.